How do you imagine yourself in 10 years? I hope to be less anxious, more structured, and as empathetic as humanly possible. I really like this response. Wandering the wastes, looking for clean water and other survivors. Having a good job, owning a house, having a wife and 1 or 2 kids. I don't think it will happen, but I can keep believing that. Edit, adding have to avoid confusion. Dead. I have cancer. I would like to make it to next Christmas. Anything more is not worth thinking about. I'm almost 75, so I'm guessing I'll either be dead or close to it. How does that feel? I'm 30 and can't imagine. It's just like you now, thinking you'll be 40 and 10Y, and that kind of freaks you out, right? Older? Wiser? Preferably not dead, but who knows what the world will be like in 10 years. That's the really scary thought. Living with my partner, having 1 or 2 kids, having a good career, traveling to different countries, and adopting a lot of cats XD. Hopefully more money and more responsibility. Exactly the same, still living miserably, still with absolutely nobody around. I barely know what I'll be doing tomorrow. How would I know what I'll be in 10 years? Haha. I don't own a solid gold pair of pants, probably never will, but I can imagine it. Chasing a few grandkids around, getting in trouble for spoiling them, and just enjoying life. I've started a weight loss journey as well, and I already have loose skin, so I want to keep that up. Would love to get there and help others. Working 3 days a week as a warehouse manager, living in a 2-bedroom house shared between 3 people, not caring about school anymore. It sounds great. Married to a kind man. 2 adopted kids. A 2-story house close to the beach. 1 dog. Have a stable job. A life partner who will same understanding for each other, kid probably, and my mom, brother and sister-in-law with me, so we can celebrate all festivals together. Few parties to drink with close friends, 2-3, monthly or quarterly basis. A small farmhouse where I can build a pond, raises a few chickens, plant some trees and can do remote work from there if possible sometimes. Homeowner, provider, for my mom, hopefully a wife and mother, financially free. Probably the same place, but in a completely different, unimaginable situation. Of course, if I would still be alive. Retired, every day trying to teach the dog how to drive a boat. Even just to hold the wheel straight would be cool. I will have managed to revive my black metal band and find motivated members. Hopefully playing and living with my now boyfriend and 3 cats. 2 orange cats named Garfield and Cheddar. 1 black that I don't yet have ideas for a name for. I will have a nice private house, decorated with gothic things, full of books and furniture that we thrift or get from antique stores. I may even have more guitars and start learning other instruments. My wife is pregnant, which means my son will be 10 years old. Jesus. Hope I have a decent house, a job that still pays well, and continued general happiness. Edit. My cat will be 16. I would give anything to make sure he is still alive and well. Edit 2. And I will fucking have gotten Dead God on Binding of Isaac. Fucking hell. Shit of a peace game. Owning my own house and with a partner, though I hope this happens within the next year or 2. Read at least 40 more books. Written my own book I just started. Teaching in my free time, traveled more. In 10 years, I see myself still happily married with 1 or 2 children. I see myself excelling in my counseling career, a loving wife and mother. I see myself having my own hobbies and working out, taking care of my body and soul. I see myself happy living in a beautiful home, with a nice car, traveling the world once a year. I hope I am less anxious and more focused on the positive, and less so on the negatives in life. Financially successful, living someplace tropical, maybe married, not sure about that part. Pessimistically, dead. Optimistically, owning multiple small businesses and living in a hut outside civilization with pet foxes rescued from fur farms. Realistically, working as an underpaid software developer and either living in the wasteland that Tbilisi is or migrating to Europe and starting a new life there. Happy, unbothered, and at peace with all aspects of my life. I'll have an environmental career that I love, my boyfriend will be my husband, and we'll have kids. And prioritizing traveling is a must. Hopefully rich, chillin', making video games and social media content. Maybe playing some squash. Living in a bungalow on a Mexican beach half the year. Managing a bar the other half. A girl can dream. Living in an apartment with a decently paying software job. Lonely after all my family and most of my friends excommunicate me. But that's just the most likely. I hope things turn out better. With my health deteriorating so badly over the last few years, and having seen my life go by at times, I think I'll be underground by then. I hope not. In 10 years, I see myself as a well-established professional with a fulfilling career, possibly leading my own venture. I aim to have a balanced life, enjoying time with family and friends, and living in a home that reflects my personal style. Financial stability is important to me, so I plan to have solid savings and investments. I also hope to have made a meaningful impact on my community and to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I am currently living in the here and now, so I can't really see past the misery. So probably more or less miserable, but still miserable. Of course, realistically, in a couple of years, I'll be out of this rental agreement and thus not be as discriminated against on the basis of my mental health diagnosis. So things are looking up there. I'll lose at least one family member in that time, unless we're lucky. And basically, that's all the stuff I have to go on right now. Things could get better or worse, but I don't think 10 years will be enough to get me where I actually want to be. And that's the real hurt of misery. A fentanyl-addicted homeless or dead. I don't think our government gives a shit about our living situation. A tent is cheaper than rent. In a senior community, if still alive, that is pretty definite, unless we are plunged into chaos, anarchy, and planetary environmental death. Then, I am just another dead human. Several ways that can go. 1. Happy. Most desired outcome, most unlikely one. 2. Trapped in an utterly miserable existence, the most likely one. 3. Dead, either through stress, anxiety, medical reasons, or suicide. I imagine that I will be kind of a double widow as my SO. An ex-husband will be deceased because they will be 65 and 60 respectively, as they are both heavy smokers. My son will be 23, and hopefully successful, as he will be having to take care of me at my age of 62, because I will be a complete wreck with no money, and likely working at a dollar store or some shit, and I won't be able to afford medication to combat my depression and anxiety. I'll be 34 then, so I hope I'm married, with maybe kids. I hope I have my own house with a backyard and a porch where I can sit and judge people, lol. I hope I have a career where I feel fulfilled. Dead maybe, lol. Homeless or unemployed. Mostly just disappointed because despite being given everything in life, being spoiled by God, having all these opportunities most people continue to dream of, I'm still a failure. Complain or write a sob story about how my life was ruined due to some trauma or something because it doesn't exist. I am just like this. Always been. There is no one to blame but myself. But oh well, what can I do? That's just how life is. Living somewhere in decent comfort, somewhere where I don't have to worry about snow, but close enough I can make a weekend of hanging out where I do have to worry about snow without having to use vacation time. 10 years is a very long time. As a 22-year-old, I'm currently studying to become a full-time musician. I can imagine that I will have launched a decent musical career by then. At the same time, I'm also a visual artist and creative writer. I will still be primarily based in Sydney, Australia, which is the city where I grew up. I was born in Adelaide. On a darker note, I will be paying very close attention to the political situation in the Taiwan Strait. As far as I'm aware, my family is the oldest Taiwanese family in Australia, having arrived in 1942, over 80 years ago, and still living here in the present day. Even if a hot war doesn't break out over the Taiwan Strait, there will still be increased tensions. Working part-time, getting more exercise, painting more, making the garden look constantly nice, having less stress. That's what I imagine. The reality could well be different. You shouldn't. We are sick in the mind because we either live in the past, depression, or in the future, anxiety. We need to learn to live in the now, because we live in the now. The ego has taken over, but it's time to take our lives back. I see myself healthy, sexy, happily married with a child or two, living in a dream house, enjoying my life at its fullest, traveling, being active, doing sports, and having fun with my family. I will be 42 years old, with a good job, a nice little house, and my husband, current boyfriend. Neither of us want kids, so we probably won't have any. A second and possibly third cat if he agrees to it. I had a rough childhood, and now I'm just ready to settle down and live comfortably. I'm at a point right now where my future is looking really bright. My income to cost of living ratio is great right now. I'm dumping a huge portion of my money into investments, which got 21% last year. I kicked an alcohol abuse problem last year. I'm happily married. I'm looking into starting my own company within the next couple years. I want to be clear, I'm not living like a king, Far from it. I'm living humbly right now so I can hopefully reap the benefits later. I don't think I'll quite be a millionaire in 10 years, but on this current trajectory, I should be there in 15 years. I hope to be retired, if that exists in 10 years. If not retired, I hope to have my business built and sold by then, and enter the stage of life where I live out in the woods away from people. Finally making real money investing in a house while happily married, maybe considering a child. Slowly starting incorporating my views of starting up a self-sufficient lifestyle and getting deep into my spirituality learning. More about herbal outlets for medication. I am in my 60s and dementia runs in my family, so I'll imagine that in 10 years, I won't be able to imagine myself. Hopefully better off than now, but maybe worse. That's the thing, isn't it? No one knows if they'll even be here in 10 years. There'll be some people reading this random thought that definitely won't be alive in 10 years. And there'll be people reading this random thought who will multiply in these next 10 years. Marry, have babies. I might have more dogs. That's a very definite possibility. Deceased, I hope. If not, still sitting in this chair, still in this horrible bedsit, and even more depressed. Well, you did ask. Chief Rabbi of Sweden, married to the Haredi guy, having 2 kids, 2 fat Norsk skogskatt, and Chow Chow, living in a city house in Gamla Stan. Yup, that would be perfect. Summers in Åland, cycling and dreaming by the pool. Damn, it would be awesome. The question that scrambled all my employment interviews. Never knew what to answer, couldn't lie to myself, and couldn't lie to the employer either. Why? Because the job I was there for would grant me the ability to dream a bit further than tomorrow in the first place. I can't tell my employer, I'm here to work and get paid for at least 10 years from now. That's it. Why? Who the hell hires someone like this? Anyway, it's one dumb question I can't dare put to myself. The future is uncertain and will always be. I'm dying, so probably dead. Either that or they'll just keep fucking living, defying every fucking doctor I go to. My heart fails regularly. My liver hasn't been alive for years. I have a quarter kidney left. My body keeps trying to kill my skin, and I am completely bald. Yet I'm still alive and swear more than a sailor's shot toe every morning, because every warning my body has is going off at once. I kinda hope I'll die sooner rather than later. I go to sleep as soon as I get home, because the only place I don't feel pain is in my dreams. I literally have no idea. If you had asked me 10 years ago, I would have envisioned myself stuck at where I was back then. Single, living with my parents, gaming all day. Instead, I'm now married, have a stable, well-paying job, bought a house, and a baby due in July. I don't look forward into the future. Instead, I let everything come at me and deal with it when it gets here. Traveling around the globe with millions of dollars in my bank accounts. I'd like to be in a nice little tiny house with a dog, but at the rate I'm going, in all honesty, probably in a wheelchair in forced retirement due to health issues caused by a life of pure chaos and self-destruction. Married, having kids the whole 9 yards, in a situation where I am contented with where I am in life. Not just family, but my personal and professional growth. I hope to cut all contact with my dad once and for all. I also hope I find a career I like, but I can't find one I like. I hope to no longer be living at home. I hope to be living with my boyfriend. Having my hair finally grown out as long as I want them. More confident and, hopefully, being at least semi-successful in my art career. Oh, and with pets, of course. Either dead or having a decent life. I'm only 20, but I have a feeling that the deciding moment of my life is happening right now, and everything depends on how well I'll do this year. Hopefully graduated college. I'm currently a freshman in college, with a bachelor's. I hope to have a good choir job in a nice school system. Music education. I want to be married to my current girlfriend. Malton. Hopefully I will have a couple kids and a house. Hopefully not living in Southern Ontario. And hopefully figured my shit out enough to attract a partner and make a family. One day at a time, team. What I do is I make these pictures in my mind. And they're pictures of things that aren't real yet. So even though it's really 2024, in the mind pictures, it's 2034. And I'm 10 years older, and I'm doing things I think I might be doing at that time. But the whole key is the mental pictures of things that aren't true right now. That's how I imagine myself in 10 years. Either living happily in a nice, modest apartment, ideally with a wife who I adore, and a cat who vaguely tolerates both of us, or dead. There's no third option. Chilled out, stable, not caring so much about the trivial bullshit in life. hopefully owning a house, hopefully with the same cats, making better music, stable career. But most of all, not caring about the bullshit anywhere near as much. Oh, and actually more fit than I am now. That's a tall order for a person who would be approaching 40 though. Owning a house of my own is high on the list. Other than that, not necessarily owning one, but at least having enough knowledge to own a horse. Also having advanced in my career. I want to have 4 rabbits by then on my little farm, 2 kids, work 4 days a week, have my whole garden completed with Vigo or sprout box beds, running a daycare for my friends on my days off during the week to help them out. Donate my eggs to a family that will send me pictures every year. Started this in 2019, but COVID came and ruined it halfway through. Hopefully doing what I'm doing now, homesteading. Just hope that I can obtain more land in the meantime and upscale my livestock garden and turn a bit more profit. I honestly hope I become more structured and just calmer. I'm really trying, but high school is really breaking me down every day, and I am so excited to get out of here. 5 semesters away from college, where I can take classes I will actually use later in life. Trying to pay for my subscription on my robot helper while searching ways to prompt it to give me a hand job. I'll live in company housing, which was good at first, but the inflation quickly took that extra money. Probably working a second job to afford the $5 McDouble that is financed. Also, trying to hack my car since it won't drive due to a weird update or it has been shut off. Hopefully living in a world where we're united for the common good, rather than psychopathically bickering over resources and differences in belief systems. Underneath, we are one and the same. I hope to have my bachelor's and master's degree finished with. I hope I remain healthy, become more happier, find a job company I enjoy working for. I hope that I eventually own a home or live where I enjoy living. I'm hoping that if I'm single or taken, I'll live in a happy relationship with someone I see eye to eye with. The goal is to be comfortable, secure, and more confident. Hopefully, I'll be in my first relationship with the person I love. I'll get a finance degree because they make a lot of money, and then maybe buy a house. Either living in a shack, homeless, or dead basically. Probably I'm being very cynical, but the news lately has been singing a one-note song of despair and dread, like a kid playing a recorder that only has one note, toot, 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 we are doomed. Streaming COD full-time, just the weapon leveling and camo grinds. I'm not a pro player and not good enough at Warzone to be interesting. Just lots of shipment streaming while I level up my snipers in the corner. In college, probably in another country by September, to finish the college years not available in Serbia. Keep in mind that I'm 13. I want to live in a refurbished watermill with my GF, who will then be my wife. And we'll have kids and grow loads of plants that can be used for crafting stuff, like distilling oils that I can then use for recipes like bath salts, and not have to work because of the income we generate from what we make. I know it's a pretty big pipe dream and probably wouldn't make financial sense as a business model, but it would be so lovely to live like that. Happy. I'm pretty content at the moment. Homeowner, working on overpaying mortgage. Have a kid would like a second. Great husband. Very frustrating, boring job. Undiagnosed ADHD. Would like a little more financial stability. To have my own business side business. Have a better job. In reality, I'll probably be premenopausal with at least one teenager. We'll see. Life is good. We shouldn't wish it away. Dead. If I haven't ended my life, I'll probably be taking everything from my friends and family because I can't hold a job due to my mental health and chronic mental disability. I have 2 kids with ADHD and we're all autistic down here. I hope to have the oldest through school and hope to be able to handle 2 special needs kids as they become adults. With any luck, I'll be dead, haha. It's hard to imagine that I'll make it in 10 years. I've been struggling with a lot of suicidal thoughts lately. I like to think I can continue to fight them off. And I am seeking help from my doctor, but 10 years is a long time. With the way the world is going to, that isn't going to help much. Between climate change and cost of living crisis, I honestly have no hope looking. 10 years into the future. Hopefully very much alive, spending time with my children, my pups, my many friends and our Lord. Wouldn't be here if not for him. So I will be squeezing every single minute of my life, doing everything possible by helping, caring, designing, planting, praying, cooking, bringing joy to others. Will you get the picture? Hope to run into a few of your readers along the way. Everyone stay safe, love and happiness to all. I hope I'm successful enough to become a McDonald's worker by then. I have lost faith in life. I beg the gods to shine a little light on me someday. Otherwise, this is my best bet. Sick and then dead. Mental health is okay, body isn't. I only ate meat, chicken, and fish my entire life, and I know that my body will shut down someday, around 30-ish. I'm 20, so yeah. I can't eat vegetables and fruits even now. I don't know. Is it the texture or the inconsistent taste flavor? My throat can't swallow them, nor can my mouth chew them. Pess. I want it to change, but it's very weird. And I'm cutting down meat now because my mouth is starting to refuse it. Eat a cow to word it out. 10 years I'll be slowing down work and helping my adult kids get ahead in the world. I'm hoping to use my accumulated wealth to help them screw the banks out of as much interest as I can. The first thing I read was 10 years, and my brain filled it with in prison. Then I read the rest of the question. Legs kicked up with a great lady, in a climate that's awesome, like in the deep south or Florida, sitting around the pool sipping on fruity, stiff drinks. That's after a great morning of us fishing. Doing things I enjoy, that meet my basic needs, and that line up with my beliefs, with people I like and people I love. That'll do. I'm going to write this down here. I've already done it in my journal. In 10 years, I'll have a union-paid job in the aviation maintenance industry, a wife who loves me, nurturing a child who is wild but lovable and full of joy. In 10 years, I imagine I'll be fully healed from the trauma that I carry, not just from childhood, but also from early adulthood. Lastly, a place to call my home. Happily married with 2 kids, a decent career, happy 2 pairs of parents, a good relationship with extended family and friends, a few published books, traveled a few countries, a better Muslim, performed Hajj, a personal library, even if it's a small room, owning a printing press, owning a piece of land and bungalow in St. Martin, Fee, Manila, owning a house in Las Vegas or in Southwest, newer car, dirt bike, maybe jet skis, taking care of my parents, not sure I want kids or marriage, but we'll see what God guides me to. I would like to be happy and have peace. I hope I fully recovered from my eating disorder. I just hope I can allow myself the bare minimum again someday, and even have a lot of fun doing so. I want to be happy with myself and the way I feel and look. I want to be successful and have income too. Hope I traveled a lot with my family and grew wiser. Super fit, regularly cooking yummy healthy food, trying all sorts of new things. I do some of this now, but more in 10 years. Why? I'll be retired and out of the corporate game. Poor, miserable, real bad health condition, no social acquaintances chances are, that my dementia got real bad, or I chronic heart failure took me out, alcoholism, or liver took me out, or further dementia and heart condition. I'll be 45, I'll probably be starting to feel actually old and have some new health problems. Hopefully though, I'll have my life together with finances. If not, I imagine I'll feel completely unsuccessful. Being able to take less or none of my antidepressants without losing the function to human, my sister calls it lovingly, my houseplant stage, as I only get up to use to toilet, lose some weight, finally getting a job, and lastly, get my shoulder and eyes fixed, if possible. My brain won't even let me think about that honestly, because it makes me feel sick to think that things might get worse, and I feel like I'm being naive to consider that it might get better. I want to be a successful woman that has a happy family with a lovely husband and 2 kids, and an influential person in a community. I want to achieve financial freedom when I be 35 years old, and then I will travel around my beautiful country. I hope to have more health and energy to take care of my elderly dad and my family in general, have better boundaries and be less anxious and channel my skills toward my passion, edit, and be more financially stable. That helps. I hope to be in good health, mentally and psychologically. I also hope to have a good job or have my own clothing store that I always wanted to set up. I'm a relative expert in my field in a senior consultant position. I drive a Jaguar, own a house, and play golf 1-2x a week. I have a wife and 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. I'd love to say living my best life, but in reality, I'll be older and more decrepit. I hope I'll be able to walk properly again, though. Currently awaiting surgery on both knees. About the same, I hope. I have MS, so who knows what another decade will bring. Plus, I'll be 70, where I hope to still be working where I've been for 12 years now, and still mobile. My sweetheart has MS as well, and I hope the same for him. He drives, with hand controls, so that helps immensely. Continued independence is what I hope for. a pillar of society donating money to fix everything around town. Everybody loves a philanthropist. Well, that's actually untrue. Everybody loves a philanthropist who gives money to them. I went to a university lecture once, talking about how rich people should hand their money over to academic nobodies, because they think they could spend the money more wisely. They made a good point that sometimes rich people just unload their money on Harvard, for instance, and then it just sits there forever. The flip side is that the academic nobodies might waste the money on drug rehab and other bull. I'd like to be a philanthropist who actually manages a project and gets the best deals for the money. Hopefully working more online with more opportunities to travel around. I hope by then, I'll have finally managed to successfully quit smoking and stayed in the gym. Hopefully in a stable work position that I'll be able to work in for 22 years. That pays 2K minimum. Actually found a job that'd fit the description, but the hiring and training process is tough. So I'm trying not to keep big expectations. If I end up pulling it off, that'd be the best thing ever. I also expect to live in my own place paying off a mortgage instead of paying rent. It's better living in your own paying off a mortgage instead of paying someone else's mortgage via rent while living in someone else's place. Not looking for a partner right now, as I'm not in a situation for a relationship right now. But if I'm in a good relationship in 10 years, that'd be a cherry on top. If not, I'll just be a crazy cat lady, LOL. Honestly, I hope to be more financially stable. I hope my kids are happy in their home and life, loving each other and their family. I hope my husband and I remain in love like we say, and feel we will. I hope my dog is still alive. In fact, I hope all of us are alive and well. Married with my boyfriend. Hopefully owning a cat, but probably a dog because my boyfriend really likes dogs. Eventually expecting a daughter, less depression, more places visited. A well-paid job for both of us. Oh, and probably about 10 years older, LOL. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our other interesting videos. Pain Scale 910. What's your story? And what's a non-obvious sign someone is rich? Don't miss these unique stories and intriguing insights. We look forward to seeing you in our next videos.